In the quiet corners of your home they lurk, invisible, yet all too real. The poltergeists. This seemingly ordinary word, poltergeist, carries with it an eerie resonance that echoes through the annals of supernatural lore. Originating from the German language, poltergeist translates directly to noisy ghost. But these entities are far more than mere specters creating a ruckus. They are unseen terrors, possessing an uncanny ability to influence our physical world in ways that defy explanation, from the creaking of floorboards in the dead of night to objects inexplicably moving or disappearing. Poltergeists have long been associated with mysterious disturbances. They are the invisible puppeteers behind the strange happenings that leave us questioning the very fabric of our reality. The concept of poltergeist is not a new one. For centuries, cultures across the globe have told tales of these elusive entities, each with their own unique interpretations and explanations. In the Western world, the term poltergeist emerged from a time when people lived in fear of the supernatural, attributing unexplainable events to the actions of these unseen spirits. But what sets a poltergeist apart from your average ghost? It's their ability to interact with the physical world around them. While a ghost is often seen as a passive entity, a mere echo of a once living person, a poltergeist is something much more active, more potent. They are the unseen forces that can make your heart race in the middle of the night, the inexplicable whispers in the wind, the unseen hands that send shivers down your spine. As we delve deeper into the realm of the supernatural, we'll explore more about these enigmatic beings. We'll investigate their origins, their characteristics, and the chilling tales that have been told about them. The age-old belief in poltergeists, as we shall see, is steeped in chilling tales and unexplainable phenomena. To truly understand the poltergeist, we must journey back to the roots of their existence. The origins of the poltergeist, a term derived from the German words poltern, meaning to make noise, and geist, meaning ghost, can be traced back to ancient and medieval times. These unseen entities were reported to cause physical disturbances, such as loud noises and objects being moved or destroyed, hence their fitting title. In the ancient world, the concept of a poltergeist was not as defined as it is today. Many cultures interpreted these disturbances as the work of mischievous spirits or powerful deities expressing their displeasure. In the ancient Roman civilization, for instance, there were tales of larvae, restless spirits of the dead causing havoc in homes. Ancient Greeks spoke of koboloi, playful sprites known to move objects and frighten people. In the Middle Ages, poltergeist activity was often linked to witchcraft and demonic possession. It was a time of deep superstition where unexplainable phenomena were met with fear and suspicion. The infamous case of the drummer of Tedworth in 17th century England, where a landlord was tormented by unseen forces following a dispute with a wandering drummer, is one of the earliest recorded instances of poltergeist activity. As we moved into the modern era, the interpretation of poltergeists evolved. The entities were often associated with a living person, typically a young woman undergoing emotional turmoil. This theory, known as the focus theory, suggests that poltergeist activity is a physical manifestation of psychological stress. From the ancient world to the modern times, the poltergeist has remained a constant, eerie presence. Despite our advances in understanding the world around us, there are still areas of the unknown that elude our grasp. The poltergeist, with its uncanny ability to both perplex and terrify, stands as a reminder of these unsolved mysteries. From the ancient world to modern times, the poltergeist has remained a constant, eerie presence. But the poltergeist doesn't stop at merely moving objects or creating eerie sounds. These entities often seem to have a mischievous, if not malicious, intent. They've been known to hide belongings only to return them later, switch lights on and off, and even manipulate electronic devices. Their actions are not random, but rather focused, almost as if they're trying to communicate or make a point. What sets poltergeists apart from other spirits is their tendency to focus their energy on a particular individual. This person, often referred to as the focus, is usually present during the poltergeist activity and may even be physically affected by it. Instances of scratches, bites, or other unexplained injuries have been reported, making the experience all the more terrifying. Moreover, unlike many ghostly encounters, poltergeist activity often occurs over a prolonged period. It's not a fleeting moment of terror, but a sustained ordeal, sometimes lasting weeks, months, or even years. This enduring presence combined with their physical interactions and focused attention, make poltergeists a truly unique entity in the realm of the supernatural. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of poltergeists is their seemingly selective visibility. While their effects on the physical world are clearly noticeable, they themselves often remain unseen. Only the focus, or those with heightened spiritual sensitivity, might catch a glimpse of these elusive entities. They aren't your average ghost. Poltergeists are entities of their own, leaving a distinct, often terrifying mark on those they haunt. Stories of poltergeists are woven into the fabric of our supernatural history. Allow me to share one such tale. In the backdrop of the late 70s, nestled in the heart of Enfield, England, a tale of terror unfolded that continues to mystify paranormal enthusiasts and skeptics alike. This is the story of the Enfield poltergeist, a tale that features not a spectre or apparition, but an unseen entity that interacted with the physical world in ways that defy explanation. The Hodgson family, a single mother and her 4 children, lived in a modest council house on Green Street. Their lives were as ordinary as any other until the late summer of 1977, when the fabric of their reality began to unravel. One evening, the 2 older children, Margaret and Janet, aged 12 and 11, complained of strange noises coming from their room. Their mother, Peggy, dismissed it as their imagination running wild. However, the events that followed would soon prove that this was no figment of their imagination. Unseen forces began to make their presence known. Furniture moved on its own, toys flung across rooms, and knocking sounds echoed through the house. The family was terrified, but this was just the beginning. The poltergeist, as it came to be known, began to show an alarming interest in the younger daughter, Janet. She started to display strange behaviors, speaking in a gruff male voice claiming to be the spirit of a deceased previous tenant. This was a stark contrast to the usual silent nature of poltergeists, making the Enfield case all the more intriguing. The family turned to the Society for Psychical Research for help. Investigators Maurice Gross and Guy Lyon Playfair spent months at the house, documenting the bizarre events. They witnessed levitation, furniture moving, and even captured the disembodied voice of the alleged poltergeist on tape. Despite the mounting evidence, many were skeptical. Accusations of the children faking incidents for attention were rife, yet Gross and Playfair remained convinced of the authenticity of the haunting. They noted that some of the incidents occurred spontaneously, with no one in the immediate vicinity to stage them. The haunting reached its peak with Janet's violent levitations, seen by multiple witnesses, and the chilling voice phenomena that continued to baffle experts. The entity, through Janet, claimed to be Bill Wilkins, a man who had died in the house years before. It spoke of his life, his death, and his lingering resentment. The poltergeist activity gradually declined after 18 months, leaving the Hodgson family to return to their normal lives. Janet, now an adult, insists the events were genuine despite the skepticism and accusations that continue to surround the Enfield poltergeist. This case underscores the unique characteristics of poltergeists we discussed earlier. The unseen entity was not merely a passive observer. It interacted with the physical world, moving objects, causing disturbances, and even communicating through a living person. Unlike typical ghost stories, the Enfield poltergeist was not a spectral figure tied to a location, but an entity that seemed to have a particular interest in a specific individual, Janet. The aftermath of the Enfield poltergeist left a trail of questions. What was this entity? Why did it choose the Hodgson family and Janet in particular? And most importantly, was it real or a cleverly constructed hoax? Despite the passage of time, the Enfield poltergeist remains one of the most documented and debated cases in supernatural history. A tale of terror and mystery, this poltergeist case leaves us with more questions than answers. As we pull back from the chilling tales, we find ourselves faced with a larger question: what truly lies behind the poltergeist phenomenon? Many theories have been proposed over the years, each attempting to shed light on this haunting mystery. Some believe poltergeist activity is purely supernatural, an eerie manifestation of restless spirits from the other side. These restless spirits, they say, are not content to simply exist in the afterlife. Instead, they choose to interact with the physical world in a variety of unsettling ways, from moving objects to creating unexplained sounds. Others propose a psychological explanation. They argue that intense emotional turmoil or stress can generate a sort of psychic energy, capable of influencing the physical environment. In this view, a poltergeist is not a spirit at all, but rather a projection of a living person's subconscious mind. These theories often point to the fact that poltergeist activity frequently centers around a single individual, often a teenager or a person undergoing significant emotional distress. There are also those who look for a scientific explanation. Some researchers suggest that natural phenomena such as electromagnetic fields or infrasound could be responsible for the strange activities attributed to poltergeists. These theories argue that our brains can react in peculiar ways to these natural forces, leading to hallucinations or other perceptual distortions that we interpret as supernatural. Despite these theories, however, the poltergeist phenomenon remains largely unexplained. Each explanation seems plausible in certain cases, yet falls short in others. No single theory has yet been able to account for all the bizarre, unsettling, and often inexplicable events that people around the world have attributed to poltergeists. As we continue to seek answers, the poltergeist remains an enigma, a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding. The pursuit of knowledge about these spectral entities pushes us to question, to investigate, and to wonder, keeping our curiosity about the unknown alive. And perhaps in the end, that's the true essence of the poltergeist phenomenon. From the dark corners of history to the eerie tales of the present, the poltergeist has left an indelible mark on our collective psyche. We've journeyed through time, exploring the roots of these unseen terrors, understanding their distinct characteristics that set them apart from mere ghosts. A poltergeist, born from intense emotional turmoil, is a manifestation of energy capable of physical interaction with our world. It's a chilling notion, isn't it? We delved into a harrowing tale of a house tormented by such an entity, a story that is but a single thread in the vast tapestry of poltergeist phenomena. These tales serve as a stark reminder of the unseen forces that may lurk in the shadows, the corners of our rooms, the recesses of our minds. As we ponder these tales and theories, remember, sometimes the things we can't see are the ones that haunt us the most.